Hey everyone, I'm Flash and this is sportsbookreview.com and we're going for week 31 in the Bundesliga. Now if you like this video then please subscribe, press the button and give your thumbs up for my guests. It's an appreciation for the hard work that they put in. And also if you press the article below then you'll get, I think it's going to be Alex's articles this week. His parlays have been absolutely on sizzle mode. Now, Bayern Munich, absolutely on fire. My two guests, we've got them back together by popular demand. We've got Alex and we've got Radek. Radek, I'll come to you first. Did you enjoy your week off?
Oh yeah, definitely was nice to watch another guy talking to you in better English, but I try to keep up my pace I had before the break because I think I was good in the stats, so let's keep on doing that.
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, it was nothing about, it's a squad rotation. You've obviously, we felt as if you just needed a week off.
Yeah, it's okay.
Alex, how was your week in Bundesliga? We had plenty good results.
It started bad, but it finished great with the two draws, Augsburg and Köln, Union Berlin and Schalke. Obviously also with the Modeste to anytime goal scorer in that last game. That was a brilliant Sunday, a very profitable one. I love this this week's card, and the teams are going in the final 2 weeks of the season. Next week we have 2 rounds of fixtures, so I think that we'll see a little bit of squad rotation in during this weekend. Also, keep in mind that 3 of the teams are already played. One is playing today in DFB Pokal in the German Cup. Bayern Munich, Eintracht Frankfurt, and Leverkusen. Leverkusen with an extra day of rest, but not for their opponents. But still, I think that there is plenty of action. I have tips for every match, and most important, for some of them, I have even 2 tips.
Alex, are you liking my little tips on Twitter, by the way? Because they seem to be quite popular because they're winners.
This is why they are popular, because they are winners, you know. If they were losers, I don't think that they were so popular. But yeah, keep it going. By the way, I'm doing your weekly schedule with those, so we have to. I have to keep you on a good mood, you know, because next week, if I count it correct, you have like 11 shows to go. Bundesliga, obviously 2 rounds. Serie A, we are back with Serie A, guys, with a very, very special guest. La Liga, Premier League, everything. Flash is doing everything next week.
Listen, there's a job to die for, to be honest, to sit here and talk to guests like yourself, those that are in the chat. And by the way, keep throwing in your comments in the chat, good, bad or different. And Tom, I know that you was having a bit of a grumble from the pocket, but that's what it's all about. Listen, we have good weeks, we have bad weeks, and listen, you stick with us and you will be in the good. Okay, I'm going to start with you, Radek, seeing as you're back, you're fresh, you're hungry, you're raring to go. Now we're going to start with Hoffenheim at plus 550, the draw plus 430, and Leipzig, who like to play away from home, at minus 200.
And bang! This was the sensation that Hoffenheim fired their coach yesterday, I think. Alfred Schreuder is not Hoffenheim coach anymore. The assistant coaches took over. I think they have a coach team of 4 or 5 people now. I couldn't find out who's in charge right now, but I think it doesn't matter. Hoffenheim is 7th in the standings, and they're fighting for spots in the Europe League for next year. And they fire their coach because they have different opinions about the future, and so they decided to go the last 4 games without Alfred Schreuder. And what does it say in this game? That Leipzig, who is a huge favorite here, is likely to win this game because they're coming back with their coach, Julian Nagelsmann, who was the coach last year in Hoffenheim, and he's returning back to his former club. So I think he knows still a lot of their style and how they play, and Leipzig also has to win this game after only drawing against last in the standing Paderborn last week. That's why my bet would be on Leipzig, but as you maybe know me, the odds are too small to bet on for me. You can go on Asian handicap on Leipzig, but it's a kind of a worse form Leipzig showed in the last weeks. So that's not my option as well. And what I liked most here was to bet on X at halftime, but this is with odds of 2.9. Kind of attractive because I didn't like Leipzig last week, but on the other hand, you can't predict what's happening with Hoffenheim. Maybe sometimes a new coach will be a kind of boost, but in this case, it could be in the opposite direction. So enough said, no bet from me in this game. I was close to 2 bets, but it's not enough to risk my money here. I think Alex has other bets for this game.
Yeah, I'm sure he does, Radek. The other thing I'll say to you, Alex, is that we're looking at Hoffenheim at 7th place. Now, surely, unless you're like a man on the moon, that is a very, very, very good season. So then you've got new people coming in with new ideas. Now, sometimes you look at the players who think, well, I wasn't getting a chance under the other manager, but now I may get my chance, so that could give them a boost. And you've got Leipzig with Timo Werner agreeing to go to Chelsea.
I mean, who says you that there is difference in terms of which directions to take with the club when you are almost reaching the European spots? There you are just 2 points behind the Wolfsburg. Who the hell in this world is thinking with 4 matches before the end of the season to sack their manager? Okay, I understand. Leave the guy till the end. He might sneak you the top 6 finish. He might bring you in Europa League, and after that, okay, sack him. Do whatever you want to do. But now with from Tuesday, and the match is going to be played Friday, so 3 days basically, because it's Wednesday, even 2 days, 48 hours full. You know, who to come and to train your squad to be ready for this match, such an important match against RB Leipzig. So this made me wonder what the hell is happening with Hoffenheim, but it's not our problem. We are here for the money, as I said. We are here to make profit. And yes, exactly like you said, Timo Werner more and more heavily linked with Chelsea, but I'm really sure that he is a very professional player, and he will play till the end of the season and bring such an important Champions League position for RB Leipzig. Right now, Paulsen and Upamecano, very disappointed in that red card of Upamecano last week. He's a very important defender for RB Leipzig, but also Campbell is back. Timo Werner there in front with Schick and Cuckoo. I think that Danny Olmo should come back. I think that he's also important. So yeah, I think that it should be a one-way match, and I'm thinking RB Leipzig to bounce back after that draw match, and to bounce back in style, I'm going RB Leipzig and over 2.5 goals in the game at 1.85, and I'm going also over 3.5 goals in the match at 1.9, because I'm sure that also Hoffenheim will find the back of the net.
So the Alex Classic's in there as well then, so let's read between the lines. We're going to go with, I've went with Leipzig and over 1.5 at very skinny. You've gone Leipzig and over 2.5, over 3.5 goals in the game in case they go bonkers and just win 3 or 4-0 or 4-0. And maybe the Alex Classic we can throw in there as well. Okay. You may call me mad, but I'm going to go for it again. I'm going back to the well that had no water in it. I'm going for Cologne, plus 100, draw, plus 260, and Union at plus 280. Can't have Union, Alex, so I'm going for Cologne to win at home.
2.02 for me, the best odds on the market right now. Koln, I think that this is not a sure. You can never be sure with Koln. Come on, you cannot trust Koln. But this price is very attractive. Plus money here on the home side. A very decent team, a very talented squad. And I went with Modeste to be anytime goal scorer last weekend, and he was on the bench, and he came from the bench and scored. Cordoba, I don't know what is happening with him. One match he's okay, the other match he's not. Hopefully they will give Modeste 90 minutes play here, or at least to start from the first whistle, and after that to be replaced by Cordoba in the second half. But once again, I think that he will find the back of the net. I'm going with him again at 3.3 anytime goal scorer, and of course I'm also on this home win at 2.02 against such a poor Union Berlin side. I was tempted to go for the draw, but I said, come on, this Cologne side, it's better not only on paper, but also the squad looks absolutely brilliant. Their place is upper than that. They must beat Union Berlin, despite the fact that Union Berlin are just 4 points above the danger zone. So I think that they will try to go for the win. But Köln, with a brilliant attack, they are very fast on the break, and I think that they should win this one.
Yeah, I mean, Radek, I look at Cordova and I'm thinking to myself that he's like a sleeping policeman up there. He's big, he's strong. But what that means is that opposing defences, they've not got to run around. He doesn't move them around for me, unless the passing's accurate, unless he gets a couple of goals. But for me, I'd get him out of there. Or I'd go with maybe playing two up top. But Cologne, they've got to put their best foot forward. We'll revisit this next week when I'm like that. How did I go for Cologne again? Radek, 2 votes for Cologne.
Yes, my third vote. I think the odds are very attractive here to bet on Cologne, and that's why I will do the same. And I think Cologne didn't win 6 games in a row, so they are here. They must win this game, and the odds are good enough because Union Berlin, you said it, is a poor side and is better in the standings than they are. In fact, so that's why my bet on Cologne is the same as you. And if we 3 are one opinion, it couldn't be better, I think.
Apart from
I think that if we 3 are on the same page, I think that you should oppose us.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, the bigger one probably will be in the chat that Flash, what are you doing going anywhere near Cologne? But remember, Derek Ray's side. So we're all going to go for Cologne. Now, what an interesting game we've got coming up next, because it's Fortuna at plus 700. Normally be about plus 1,000. Draw plus 450. And Dortmund at minus 250. Take us away, Radek, because I've got some interesting thoughts on this game.
I always say that I think Fortuna can make games close, and then they lost 5-0 against Bayern Munich, and I was very disappointed. And we have now almost the same game here. They're playing against Borussia Dortmund, and in this game I think Dortmund will make a clear statement win. And what I like is the Asian handicap minus 1.5 on Dortmund with an odd of 2.0, and I think Dortmund can beat Fortuna Düsseldorf in more than 50% of the games with 2 goals in advantage, and that makes it mathematically a correct bet on Asian handicap on Borussia Dortmund. And who will think that this will be a close game as last week? I don't think so. That's why Dortmund, huge win. I hope so.
Alex, we absolutely got away with murder last week by going plus 1.5 with Hertha Berlin, because the amount of chances that Jadon Sancho missed from open, like 6-yard box, took it round the keeper, and it just like nothing. I mean, I just could not believe it, but we ended up getting a winning ticket. I think this Fortuna Düsseldorf side are dangerous and might get something.
Yeah, it was a great bet, Hertha plus 1.5 because it was a winner. When it is a winning bet, is a great bet. But I also went for both teams to score and the over 2.5, and I think that Hertha went to win a point there. So I guess that was a losing bet. I thought that they will go to have fun. They will go to win points because they are just few points behind the top six finish. On the other side, Fortuna Düsseldorf. Yes, we had a bad read on them against Bayern Munich. Because Bayern Munich are Bayern Munich. I mean, they can score 5 against anyone, in my opinion, against any club in this Bundesliga, in the top flight German league. But I think that here Düsseldorf will clinch that goal. I think that they will score against Dortmund. Very good news for BFB and their fans. For the yellow wall is that Holland and Marco Reus are back in training. Probably Holland will be used, but probably Marco Reus will remain on the bench or even not on the bench. But important is that they will be fit in a couple of weeks. But unfortunately, the Bundesliga will finish in a couple of weeks. So I'm going for Dortmund and over 2.5 at 1.85. I think that they can easily score 3 goals on their own if they play the same and they don't miss so many chances. I mean, that missed chance from Jadon Sancho against Hertha Berlin. What a chance. You can... me myself, I will score that with my eyes closed, and I think that you yourself, that you're a striker, I think that that is the easiest thing that you can have, there with the Jadon Sancho. But I hope that they will come out strong, even though their second spot in the standings is already won. Nobody can touch them, and I'm sure that they will win this one and 3 rounds. But over 3.5 goals also at 2.2 I have, so more than plus money, because I think that Fortuna will find the back of the net and will help us with this bet.
That's my bet. That's my bet. Over 3.5 goals, don't care who scores. Because, listen, I can see Fortuna. I was so close to going with Dortmund being my trap of this weekend. But then it just reminds me of how Düsseldorf defend, and they don't. So, I mean, I could see this being... I could see this being a 5-2. I could see this being a 4-1. So, over 3.5 goals, brings in a 2-2 as well at 2.2. Unbelievable value. I'm glad that you agreed with me, Alex, even though you didn't know you was agreeing with me. Now, let's kick on because we're going to go with Hertha at plus 112. Draw, plus 280. Frankfurt, plus 240. I'm looking home win. I like Hertha.
I don't know what to say here. I was looking at a draw match, and to be honest, I will play the draw match in this one. And it's coming at 3.75. This just came to me right now, so draw at 3.75. So also for this match, I have 2 bets. I think that we will see more goals in the second half than in the first half, and I'm going second half goals over 1.5 at 1.85. So at least 2 goals in the second half. Eintracht are not a bad team. We know that. I don't understand how it's possible in this universe to have how many they had against Freiburg, because I really don't remember.
35
with 16 shots on goal, right?
Yeah.
And last weekend against Mainz, 0 shots on goal. How is this possible? I mean, it was almost the same team, How is this possible? I had the Alex Classic. I was sure that Mainz will score, but I was absolutely convinced that Eintracht will also score. And here they are, 0 shots on target. Yeah, I think that these 2 teams should probably go to have fun in this one. I think that we will see some changes because, again, I'm telling you, be careful because we have 3 rounds of fixtures in 7 days. So that's a lot for any athlete in this universe. So probably we'll see a huge squad rotation in the entire league. But yeah, I'm going for the draw at 3.75. And if both teams will score in the second half and we'll see a 1-1, I will win both of my bets.
Yeah, well, when you're doing my Twitter requests for the videos, please ask me to do Hertha and Frankfurt, because I've got a 100% record, and my banker of the week is Hertha. Far too strong, far too athletic, scoring goals at home. And the thing is with Frankfurt, nowhere near. Radek, my banker is Hertha. Am I mad?
No, I
Yes.
think you're just betting the trend, my friend. And that's how Warren Buffett got billions. But in this case, I don't know if it's worth so much money because, as you said, Hertha played good soccer within the last games, and I liked them against Dortmund as well. They are really playing good, and they are. At the moment, it seems that they are better than Frankfurt, and Frankfurt has to face Bayern Munich in the cup game tonight. And as we always know, Frankfurt is weak after mid-week games, and that's all good arguments to bet on Hertha. But I don't like the odds on Hertha. They are still a kind of overrated team within the last games, and I think the expert a draw is definitely possible here. So I'm a little bit aware of this draw. That's why I'm not supporting you in this game and betting on Hertha. On the other hand, I can't see any value on Frankfurt as well because they were poor against Mainz. They play against Bayern Munich tonight, and they must complete shift around to get a point in Berlin. But yeah. You never know in the Bundesliga, but in these games, if I have a little bit of doubt, I won't bet any money on.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Listen, sometimes it's best to pass. Like the next game, Paderborn.
No, he said like that. I would rather go with Alex's bet than with Flash.
Yeah.
This is the point here. Come on.
I read into that, Alex. Did you not see that? I just glossed over that bit when he said I'll probably go with the cross. I'll probably go with the draw. I did catch on to that. I tell you what, though, you'll do well and you'll be a brave man to go anywhere near the next game because it's Paderborn at plus 220, draw plus 280, and Werder favourites at plus 126. Looks like an unders game, Radek.
Yeah, we saw Werder Bremen stepping up and playing some good results, but the last two games they lost within 1 week against Frankfurt 3-0 and the important game against Wolfsburg. And so, yeah, it's the game worse versus worse, bad versus worse. And I don't touch these games. And if I would touch this game, then only to bet on not many goals. Under 2.5 is a bet of 2.2. And Alex says that this could be an X bet because everything can happen here. And have a look at Paderborn. They only lost one of their last 4 or 5 games, I think. So if they will ever win a game, then they can win it here against Werder Bremen. On the other hand, Bremen is not yet in the second league. They must win this game as hell. And that's the reason why I think Bremen must win this game, but the odds are not very attractive with 2.2. Expert on this, you can risk it for a smaller amount of money, but I don't like this game. I don't watch this game. I think maybe only a half, and then we will see, but it's not the bet for me today.
Alex, you were giving us the old cross for the draw at 0-0, 1-1. I don't see many goals. And this is the type of game I'd like to be at 11 o'clock kickoff so I can just fall asleep.
It is an early game, but it's not an 11 o'clock on your side. It's 4:30 on my side. So, it's 5 o'clock in the morning for 7 o'clock in the morning for you. So that is really bad. So go on, stay on us, enjoy your Saturday morning. Put 2 hours more to your sleeping time because you need them for next week, and don't wake up for this Werder Bremen game. The funny thing is that we have some different ones, good ones during that hour, like FC Köln, Union Berlin, Hertha versus Eintracht. So I'm sure that you will wake up to see them.
I'll watch both of them.
I'm going for the draw at 3 point. I'm going for the draw at 3.75 because again Werder are missing many players, and most important they miss Rashica and Toprak. If they were inside the team, I would play them at 2.25. But Paderborn, as Radek said, and it's as difficult it is to play against a relegation team, the same difficult it is to play against the bottom side who knows that they are already in the second league, because you don't know what to expect from them. They are coming, they are enjoying their last moments in the first league. They want to put a good finish for the other teams to see them, the players. I mean, maybe they will take them to them, and they will continue in the first tier league. So it's difficult. It's difficult. This is why I think that Paderborn will give a hard time to Werder Bremen. This is why I'm going for the draw again at 3.75.
Okay, another draw. That tells you these games are not very tasty at all, and this one is not either. It's Wolfsburg minus 122, the draw plus 300, and Freiburg at plus 360. Alex?
Just both teams to score for me here at 1.71. I cannot take anything else. Probably Wolfsburg win, but Freiburg showed that they have some quality in the last matches. I was a little bit disappointed on that Gladbach defeat against Freiburg last weekend, last Friday. I had Gladbach to win, but what a poor match by Gladbach. Anyway, I think that Freiburg are still fighting for that top 6 finish. They will give everything. They have nothing to lose. Wolfsburg are there to secure that 6th position. So I think that we'll see goals from both sides. Both teams to score at 1.71.
Yeah, I don't think you was wrong to go with Gladbach against Freiburg. I would have gone, if I was, obviously I went with the goals market, but if I was going for the win market, I'd have gone. And if you'd have watched Gladbach in the first half, they should have scored 3 or 4. They should have been out of sight. But listen, if you don't score your goals, you're always going to be susceptible to go and get beat 1-0. Radek, Wolfsburg, Freiburg, it's another one of those. I don't expect you. I mean, listen, you're not over the moon with Bayern Munich versus Dortmund. So I don't know what you're going to be like with Wolfsburg versus Freiburg.
Yeah, I think there are decent teams. I like Freiburg very much. They are not always performing their A game, but you have to know that they have one of the smallest money in the league. So they're always making a good job building a decent team, and they have an awesome coach. So that's why I think a lot of people who are neutral like Freiburg more than Wolfsburg. On the other hand, yeah, you can't say what Wolfsburg is doing. They have very good days, they have very bad days, and something in between. And I think this is a classical in-between game. So I would bet here on just X-bet, because I don't like the odds of Wolfsburg here. They are too low with 1.7 around, and to bet on Freiburg after they had a win against Mönchengladbach, I think this would be a bit naive and too easy or too risky. That's why I like the X-bet, because we get odds of 3.9 here, and I always only bet 1/3 of a unit on X's, so that's why, nothing to lose here, but something to win.
Yeah, and that's the problem we've got. A lot of these games, they're matching up the sides that you can't actually trust. But the next side, you can trust them with your life and with your wife if you've got one, because Bayern Munich minus 267, draw plus 460, Gladbach plus 750. I am falling in love with Bayern. I love the way they work. I love the way that it's all out attack, and they are going to put Gladbach to the sword. So how do we get the value then, please, Radek?
Yeah, I would be a very bad husband if I bet my wife on a Bayern Munich game, and I won't because they lost against Gladbach in the first game. So I maybe will lose a very good wife. No, but I don't think Bayern will lose this game for sure. Not because Gladbach was awful, and I don't like Gladbach very much. I think they are not a Champions League team. I said it often enough, and I think Bayern will win this game. But yeah, home odds on Bayern Munich are always very bad, and they are playing against Frankfurt next Tuesday. I think they have their next game. So why not rest some players and make a close game against Gladbach here? So I think to bet on Asian handicap on Bayern is a bit too risky, but if someone is likely to take more risk, why not to bet on this game?
It's Bayern all the way, Alex. It's scoring both halves, win both halves, minus 1.5, -2, Bayern and over 3.5. What are you going to go for?
I will always put my mother-in-law on Bayern.
You put your mother-in-law on Paderborn.
No, but in case they ever lose, to be sure that it's all about my mother-in-law here. What I wanted to say is that both Lewandowski and Müller are suspended for this match. Zule is out, Tolisso is out, Coutinho is out. I think that we will see Perisic, we will see some Thiago, Coman, Goretzka, but this is a brilliant squad. You know, they can destroy Gladbach if they want to. And Gladbach is without Alassane Plea, who is suspended, Zakaria, who is injured. So not a lot of stuff for this match. Just a lean, not an official bet, over 3.5 goals at 1.9.
It's a decent price, that 1.9, because that just brings in the free one as well. Because the one thing about Gladbach is they are decent on the counter-attack, and they will definitely get the opportunity to counter-attack. It's whether they take that opportunity. Another Z game, this. Mainz, plus 138, draw 252. And Augsburg at plus 200, Alex.
Yeah, this is a difficult game to predict. Not a lot of confidence in this bet, so I was about to skip it totally. But what the heck, is just the 4 final rounds of the season, and I want to go for every single match. So I'm going for over 2.5 goals because I think that Mainz, also Mainz to win looks a good bet because Augsburg are worse in my opinion, than Mainz. And 2.33 for the home team here, I think that it represents value. So I will just go for over 2.5 goals at 1.82.
Okay, that throws a little spanner in my in the works for me, because Radek, I was going to go for both teams to score no, and maybe under 2.5 because Augsburg don't score enough goals.
Yeah, a lot of things can happen here as well. I must say that I'm kind of a different option than Alex here, because I think that Mainz at home only scored 15 goals in 15 games. That's not very dangerous, I think. And I don't think Augsburg is bad. They are not very lucky in most of the games. And so I like just a easy bet, draw no bet on Augsburg. You get odds of 2.2 here. And that's why I support them. And yeah. you get back the money. It's a
yeah,
draw.
I mean, it's just one of those games. I mean, obviously, we're going to cover all the games at Mainz and Augsburg. I don't think there's going to be many people rushing to the counter to put their hard-earned cash over. I think there's more chance of the mother-in-law getting traded for a bet in this game. Now, Schalke, everyone's massive disappointment. Radek at plus 470, draw plus 350, and Leverkusen, who love to go on the counter-attack, minus 167.
Yes, and we have Schalke, who didn't win for 11 games now in the Bundesliga. And on the other hand, we have Leverkusen, who is really fighting for the Champions League. And I think there can't be another result than a clear win of Leverkusen in Schalke, because we say it's a home disadvantage now because of lacking audience, and that's why a lot of away teams are winning their games. And in this case, Leverkusen will strike back after losing against Bayern Munich, but they scored twice against Bayern Munich, so they can score twice or even 3 or 4 or 5 goals against Schalke. And Schalke, it's always dangerous that they will strike back maybe one day, but in this case, I like the odds on Leverkusen here. If you get Asian handicap -1 on Leverkusen, means just Leverkusen has to win this game. You get your money back if they only win with 1 goal in the advantage, and you win the bet if Leverkusen wins 2-0, 3-0, 3-1, and the other stuff. So I get odds around 1.9 in this case. That's good enough to bet against the awful Schalke here.
It is. I agree with that. I think that's great odds as it goes to 1.91. But I like Leverkusen over 1.5 as well, Alex. But is Schalke ever going to turn up? And what are your thoughts on, like, Hoffenheim sacked their manager and they're 7th in the Bundesliga? I mean, I can't get my head around that. And yet Schalke with Wagner, they've like no victories in 11 games. Do you think they'll run out of patience with him?
No, I think that they will keep him also for the next season, because it's very important that they will let him build the team. He did a great first half to the season. They were awful in the second half of the season, but I think that they need also some strikers, because this is what they miss right now. They have also many injury problems. They have many problems, many important players out, like Harit, like Serdar, like Nastasic, Stambouli. So this is their biggest issue right now. I think that they are already in vacation. I think that still, after so many bad matches, they are still 10th in the standings, far away from the relegation zone. I don't think that they will have problems with that. On the other side, we have a great Leverkusen team that, of course, Bayern Munich beat him 4-2. But tell me something new here, because again, Bayern Munich are beating everyone. Kai Havertz will be back after being a little bit injured. Yesterday they played Saarbrücken, 4th-tier team in the German Cup. They beat them 3-0 without even forcing. They had it was an intensive match, in my opinion. It was a good training for this Schalke team, who anyone can beat them. So I'm going strong in this one, and I'm going Leverkusen halftime, full-time at 2.4. And I'm going with Leverkusen and over 2.5 goals at 2.3.
2.3 for Leverkusen and over 2.5. Radek, are you going Leverkusen or are you going to go Schalke?
I said Leverkusen, Asian handicap -1.
Okay, that's -1 for Leverkusen. Okay, give me a rundown, please, Radek, of your bets, and give me a banker.
Home win Koln against Union Berlin, odds of 2.0. Dortmund, Asian handicap -1.9, odds 2.0. against Düsseldorf, at Düsseldorf, but as we said, home disadvantage here for Düsseldorf, double. And Augsburg, draw no bet, 2.2 at Mainz. And my banker, indeed, Leverkusen Asian handicap, -1, 1.95.
Excellent. And good to have you back, by the way, Radek. Alex.
I'm going Leipzig and over 2.5 goals at 1.8, over 3.5 goals in that match at 1.9, Dortmund and over 2.5 goals at 1.85, and again, because I'm seeing a high-scoring round of fixtures in Bundesliga, over 3.5 goals at 2.2, Koln to beat Union Berlin at 2.02, Modeste anytime goal scorer at 3.3, Hertha versus Eintracht, I'm going for the draw at 3.75. Second half goals over 1.5 at 1.85. Paderborn Werder draw at 3.75. Wolfsburg Freiburg both teams to score at 1.71. Bayern Gladbach over 3.5 goals at 1.9. Mainz Augsburg over 2.5 goals at 1.82. Leverkusen halftime, full-time at 2.4. Leverkusen and over 2.5 goals in the match at 2.3. And my banker for this round of fixtures is Dortmund to win and over 2.5 goals at 1.85.
Okay, and I'll just throw my little one in there. I'm going to go for Cologne, and I'm also going to go for Hertha Berlin. I'll be a load of others, but be sure to have a little look out on Twitter because I will be giving you a few selections on the day of the games. Now, listen, subscribe, please. Press the bell and we will notify you and you will not miss any other content. Give your thumbs up for Radek and Alex. I know that it means a lot to us here at SBR. And press the link in the description and they'll go over to the article and show you what Alex has got for you. And if you've been there over the last few weeks, then you have been absolutely printing money. Listen, it gives me a good chance to say, thanks, Alex. Welcome back, Radek. Join us next week. Have a great weekend, everyone. And remember, next week, we've got 2 cards. You take care.